So thank you for that. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Caleb, and I'm the CTO React of SST Inc. Here today with me is Tristan, part of the iOS team, and Aathithya, President of President of SST Inc. We also have a very good friend here, Kasham, who is in the audience here. And today we'll be sharing more about our school, the School of Science and Technology Singapore, and an incubator called SST Inc. that is part of SST. To start off, I would like to show you guys a video about our school.
Welcome to the School of Science and Technology Singapore, the school of innovation by design and where we learn by doing. SST is a specialized independent school with a distinctive 4-year curriculum and a globally connected institution dedicated to
Audio difficulty, so we're just going to skip the video, but that was basically our school's corporate video, and that was a quick
and that was basically just a quick overview of what our school is. So our school, the School of Science and Technology Singapore, is a globally connected institution dedicated to transforming learning, and SST nurtures innovators who apply the knowledge of science and technology, guided by the spirit of the humanities for a better world. So here's a bit more about SST. SST is located at 1 Technology Drive along Clementi Road and Commonwealth Avenue West. So roughly over here, you can see on maps. It's between Clementi and Dover MRT stations and is just opposite Singapore Polytechnic. SST is also one of the 4 specialized independent schools established in Singapore. And we are 100% DSA only. So every SST student will have to enter SST through the Direct School Admission Secondary Exercise, or DSA SAC. And our school has a DSA process that is rigorous and tests a student's ability on math and science. Students can apply for SST DSA when they're in Primary 6 or Secondary 2, and their SST journey will begin when they're in Secondary 1 and Secondary 3 respectively. SST also offers a suite of unique applied subjects. These subjects are Computing Plus, Electronics Plus, Biotechnology, and Design Studies. Well, you might wonder, what's so different about computing and electronic curriculum in SST compared to other secondary schools? Well, on top of what we learn and are examinable for O-levels, SST goes beyond the required curriculum. For example, in Computing Plus, on top of the O-level examinable topics such as Excel and Python and computing architecture, SST also teaches machine learning and data science, which are essential skills to have. And this is why our curriculums have the plus behind them, because we not only learn what is required, but we go further beyond the curriculum. Furthermore, SST is the only secondary school in Singapore that teaches biotechnology and design studies as an O-level examinable subject. SST also offers the Integrated Diploma Program, or IDP for short. IDP is the first of its kind STEAM-related through-train program that provides students with a direct pathway to Ngee Ann Polytechnic without having to do their O-levels. And Ngee Ann Polytechnic has offered 21 courses to IDP students. And IDP also emphasizes applied learning and engages students in a wide range of STEM fields via capstone projects, which is what IDP students have to do in replacement of their O-levels. And the selection for IDP begins in Secondary 2, and roughly 50 people will be selected every single year. And this year is also the first year of this SST-NP IDP program, and I'm proud to say that I'm part of the first batch of IDP students. And every single IDP student's journey begins in SST when they're in Secondary 3 and ends when they graduate from their course in Ngee Ann Polytechnic. And so that, in a nutshell, is our school, SST. Now we're going to share more about SST Incorporated, or SST Inc., which is the technology incubator within SST. SST Inc. is a non-profit technology incubator in SST run for students by students. SST Inc. is also an incubator that nurtures student employees in running technology startups to serve communities and better our world.
Now I'll take over on what it takes to run this incubator. So I'm Aathithya, I'm the president of SST Inc. So in SST Inc. we have three main values: innovation, networking, care, and support. So first on innovation, innovation is pinnacle. App development is an emerging technology and a lot of people are getting onto it. So to stay ahead of our competitors and to provide the best for our students and our clients, we have innovation. Next is networking. It is important that we forge bonds, despite skills or backgrounds, to create a strong community, a bonded community between students and developers. And last but not least, care and support. Inc. is not all about coding. We also have events to ensure that we are a pillar of support for our employees. Now, for our 2023 and 2024 executive committee, we have from president to vice president to our CEO, CMO, CTOs, and CDOs.
In SST Inc., we provide training for our newest batch of SST employees every single year. Those languages include SwiftUI for iOS development, Kotlin for Android development, and React for cross-platform and web development. These training sessions are 100% planned, conducted, and taught for students by students in SST Inc. And they are made possible by the CTOs and task forces for each of the respective languages. So here's a picture of the iOS team and our CAO at the recent iOS Dev Scout event. So that's our CAO, that's me, Sairam, Kai, and Nicole, and we're part of the iOS team. And we're the 4 main teachers for iOS lessons. And here's a picture of the iOS team conducting lessons for our juniors. And this picture is only one of the classes for iOS lessons, and there are a total of 3 classes. And next, I'll talk more about career progression in Inc. When a student first gets accepted, when a student first gets interviewed and accepted into Inc., they will start off as a trainee. Then, as they finish their 6 months of iOS and 3 months of either React or Kotlin, which they get to choose, they'll be considered an associate employee. And after the student finishes their project serve and has published an app, they'll move on to be an employee. And this is usually where the end of most of the SST students' career progression is. But for those who are especially interested in Inc., they can sign up and move on to be a management trainee, where they get to be trained by the current batch of Excos to become the future leaders of Inc. And if successfully elected, these management trainees will move on to be Exco members.
Now I'll be talking about one of our initiatives called Project Serve, which has been done for 10 years. So Project Serve aims to allow students or employees to develop apps to serve and benefit the community. And we have over 70 employees who take part in this event or in this initiative every single year. And these employees will form companies in groups of 5, and they focus on 4 main aspects through this whole initiative, which is client, problem statement, their solution, and lastly the product they want to release. We also use 2 ways to gauge our employee performance by looking at the CPR, Company Performance Review, and Employee Performance Review to allow us to see where our students or employees stand at. And I'll be going through some of the apps that have been made during this initiative itself. So 35 apps were published onto the App Store with more than 71,000 downloads on the App Store. One of the more notable ones is the KKH Pediatric Anesthesia app. So this app mainly came about when doctors had to refer to this book called The Baby Bear and calculate the amount of anesthesia needed prior to a surgery. But we felt that this whole process is completely inefficient and is prone to human errors. So that is why we took the entire book and we put it onto an app with more functions and calculators to allow doctors to calculate them within seconds. While we also benefit the health industry, we also benefit the education industry. So in most schools, the announcements for the day is made through the PA system by a student counselor or prefect. And we felt that this is not really necessary because most of the students will forget most of these announcements by half the day. So we decided to store all these announcements by creating somewhat like a blog system onto an app so that students can even refer to announcements 6 years ago. And we have included functions such as filtering, text, to get the only information that they need. Next, you have Mental Stop. Mental Stop is a one-stop platform to allow youths to take control of their mental health and also to debunk mental health myths. The more recent production we had was MathX, which features a useful tool set of calculators with special functions that will calculate quickly, and many other more cool functions so that students can continue their learning no matter wherever they are.
If I were to touch on attending, one of our most recent productions this year, attending basically allows us to be attending is basically the only way of taking attendance in SST Inc. Previously, our poor CAO had to manually take attendance for everyone, and that process took a long time and is really tedious. This meant that he had to call out every single person's name and wait for a response. This process was not only tedious, but it was also prone to a lot of human errors, such as not accurately taking attendance or having some people being missing out. There are two sides to attending, the admin side and employee side. The employee side would just be a simple web app here that lets the user scan the QR code that is displayed on the admin side to take attendance. The employee's attendance is then automatically marked in a configured Google Sheets API, Google spreadsheet via the Google's REST API. To touch a bit more about our previous and current measures, our previous measures were really slow and required a lot of computing resources. It was also difficult and tedious to use. And our goal before creating this program was to take barely seconds per user, being extremely efficient, especially running from our device, and will be easy to set up and use for all admin personnel. To give you a visual representation, firstly, an admin will configure attending to automatically generate a rotating QR code. You may be wondering why we would have a rotating QR code. This is to prevent users from taking a picture of QR code, sending it to their friends, and marking their attendance even though they were not there. And we just use some Unix time for this to ensure that they do not spoof the system in any way. And then afterwards, a user will scan the QR code to mark the attendance, and the backend will write to the spreadsheet. To provide you a systematic flow of events, the teacher will log in, provide a spreadsheet URL, attending will verify permissions and configurations, a QR code will be generated, student scans the QR code, and the data is then sent to our server. After this, the teacher logs in, provides a spreadsheet URL, the teacher's Mac reads the data from the server, and the spreadsheet gets updated, ultimately allowing the student's attendance to be taken. You can explore more of our SST apps over here. And yeah, we have many apps on many different platforms.
But we're not stopping there. Inc is always coming up with new ideas for apps, and here are some notable ones. GrowCal is a one-stop platform that allows SST students to participate in house challenges and further foster house spirits among their house members. Through this app, they'll be notified of house announcements and events, which encourages them to participate in these events. They're able to contribute to their house points through the app by walking a certain number of steps every day. And the app has a built-in step counter which tracks the number of steps the user has taken that day, and it exchanges it for some house points at the end of the day. And this allows the user to participate actively in the house through this app. The next app, SST Alumni, created by our alumni, Jiachen and Xingguan, who are at the back over there. Jiachen, Xingguan, will you say hi? Wave, yeah, those two people. SST Alumni is a platform created to update and allow SST alumni to visit the school and update them on school events. The app provides them with a digital card that can be presented to the security at the school's main gate, which allows them to easily enter the school without filling in complicated visitor forms. And last but not least, Classroom. Classroom is a native macOS, iOS, and iPadOS Google Classroom client. For those of you who use Google Classroom on your iPhone, you know how notoriously slow it is at loading and how difficult it is to search for past announcements or assignments. On top of the faster loading times and caching, Classroom also has multiple client-side features, such as Universal Search. Universal Search allows users to search up courses and post within courses since the course was created, and they can easily find and navigate to those posts. On top of that, Classroom also features client-side archiving of courses, client-side course folders, and client-side regex course renaming as well. Startups. There have been more than 35 startups that were formed from Inc. And one notable startup is Fourier Industries. Fourier Industries is a startup that helps to develop products like Arduinos for lower secondary students in SST to use as part of their ICT curriculum. On the left, you can see is the Stuino Classic. The Stuino Classic is an easy-to-use Wi-Fi enabled microcontroller designed and fabricated by SST alumni in 2018. Users can write programs to connect or control things over the internet. And on the right is the Stuino 2. The Stuino 2 is a major redesign of the Stuino Classic first deployed in 2022 and paired with the Explorer companion board, which is this board on top. It basically introduces more advanced IoT functionalities and quality of life improvements, enabling for a low barrier, high ceiling approach to IoT education in SST.
To talk a bit more about some of the opportunities or achievements that have brought about by SST Inc., here are some. To start off, Project SF. The top few companies that score more than 80% for their project serve will be eligible to go to Project SF, which is essentially a trip to San Francisco to learn more about the tech startup culture there. 12 employees from SST Inc. went on a learning journey to San Francisco from 11 to 19 February 2023. There, students attended many tech workshops and visited many tech companies. The students attended the Developer Week conference in Oakland, visited tech-related museums such as the Intel Museum or Computer History Museum, and were hosted by tech companies such as Apple, Block, Digital Garage, OKCoin, Plug and Play, or Zendesk. Much of our students' learning took place through the people they met at San Francisco. This includes some of our very own SST alumni, such as Raghu, the second batch of SST, who was studying at UC Berkeley and interning at San Francisco, as well as Jervis, which is the pioneer batch of SST, studying in the US, which hosted us at his workplace in Block. We also met up with many Singaporeans working there and studying there, who were eager to host us and share their personal stories and valuable advice on how to stand out among the crowd and stay ahead in the tech industry. These messages have inspired our students, and they have returned to Singapore with determination to seize every opportunity in life and work towards their dreams, which could include starting their very own startup. Some achievements by SST Inc. as well. Recently, two of our employees from Inc., Tristan and Chay, won Apple's annual Swift Student Challenge in 2023. They were featured on the Geeks website and also gave a talk on their winning Swift Student Challenge playground at Apple Orchard on 20th of June 2023. Yeah, so apart from that, these are some of our past achievements by SST. We have many achievements such as winning the Tech Blazer or Apple picking up apps created by some SST students. We even hosted Tim Cook back in 2019 and Jia Chen was pitching his app on portable CL to Tim Cook. We also host many people all around the world, such as the governor of Jeju or the Tim Cook visit or the Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong. I'm not sure if the audio will work, but okay, never mind, it doesn't. So yeah, I think that concludes our presentation. Do feel free to connect with us on LinkedIn as well. Yeah, so another page on LinkedIn. And also follow us on SST Inc. on Instagram at SST Incorporated. And with that, thank you for listening to our presentation.